So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second webinar of Media and Entertainment. If you guys remember exactly this time last week, we did a webinar on the first part of the M&E collection, and this is the second part of maybe the continuation of the first webinar which we did. We still have people logging in, but I would like to start the presentation on a slow pace so that others who are going to join in some time do not lose much of the information. So once again, good morning everyone, and thank you for being a part of the webinar series. My name is Samit Chetty. I'm the Technical Solution Manager for the Autodesk Media and Entertainment Division. And I take care of all the M&E vertical softwares in terms of training, in terms of demos, pre-sales, and stuff. So the whole idea for this series of webinar was to educate on people who have attended our Autodesk University in the past 4 years, which happened twice in Bombay, which happened in Bangalore and Delhi, to know more about what's changing in our M&E portfolio, that is the media and entertainment portfolio. So if you remember in my last previous sessions, I had spoken about a couple of products. I'm going to talk about some new changes which we have in the media and entertainment portfolio. So before we go ahead, I would like to present the safe harbor statement, which states that anything I'm going to talk about in terms of products which is going to be coming in the new releases, we do not promise that it will be on the next version. It can be the delivery time can be delayed depending on the product stability and so on. And in case if you guys are making any decision based on these presentations, you can have a discussion one-on-one and then decide. Before we start the demo or the presentation, I would also like to talk about that we have some amazing gifts, amazing goodies to giveaways for winners. We have a lucky draw, and we also have a feedback form which will be sent to you on your email after the session is over. If you guys fill the feedback form and send it to the Autodesk team back, and also if there are poll questions which will be asked at the end of the sessions, if you guys attend the survey, you are eligible for this goodies or giveaways or the contest which we are running, and the results will be announced on 18th of December when we finish the entire series of webinar from all different verticals. So you have a good chance to participate. All you have to do is just send the feedback form which you will be receiving on your emails, and at the end of the session, please answer the poll questions and you're good to go. All right, moving ahead. For all the attendees who attended the previous session last week, you guys know that I spoke about a couple of products, which was Motion Builder, Mudbox, Recap, Sketchbook, and Character Generator. So just a recap for all the products which we spoke last week was we spoke about Sketchbook, which is a 2D design tool. You can do your character designing, you can do layouts, you can do many things using Sketchbook for a pre-visualization. And then if you want to create a model from scratch using sculpt-based tool, Mudbox is the tool. I have demonstrated how Mudbox can be used, how using digital painting, digital sculpting, and you can create some fantastic models, be it terrain, be it characters, be it anything can be done very easily inside Mudbox. And these files can be very easily shared between the other Autodesk or non-Autodesk products. We also spoke about Character Generator, which is a web-based portal. You can customize or create your own character, and you can change parameters in terms of features, in terms of skin color, in terms of hairstyle, costumes, shoes, everything can be changed, and you can create a character which exclusively belongs to you. So nobody else in the entire universe will have a similar character which you have designed, and that's exclusive yours. The next product which we spoke about was Motion Builder, which is exclusively for animation. You want to do some keyframe animation, you can do it very easily inside Motion Builder. The other reason why motion builder is very popular is because you can import motion capture data and then play around with a character maybe which you have created from character generator and animate them. It's very easy to apply motion capture data to a character and fine tune or refine it using motion builder. And finally, we spoke about recap, which is a photogrammetry tool. You can click pictures of any object, be it a building, be it a statue or something like that. Click multiple 360 pictures in 360 degrees, upload it in recap, and then when the recap stitches all these pictures, what does it do? It gives you a 3D model which you can use it in any of your VFX, animation, or architectural design visualization pipeline. It can be used in any different industry. So that's how easy recap is. Moving back to our hero product. Now, this is in this today's session, I'm going to talk about what's new in Maya and what's new in 3ds Max and what have we done for the lighting and rendering part inside Maya. Now, if you remember, the whole theme or the whole idea of the webinar is to present you a complete workflow. You guys don't have to move out of the media and entertainment collection bundle of Autodesk and depend on third-party softwares or invest on third-party softwares. Everything can be handled inside these bundle itself, and that's why we say you can create sophisticated animation or visual effects without moving to third-party software. So all of you guys who are aware of Maya or people who are not aware of Maya, Maya is one of the best visual effects tools to create a 3D tool to create fantastic 3D characters, 3D models, architectural walkthroughs, or set extensions and so on. It's one of the best tools in the 3D environment. It has also won Oscars for best visual effects and visual effects tools. Now, Maya is very popular for a lot many things. Some few things which Maya is very popular is for, it's one of the tools called as XGen. XGen, for people who don't know, are very good for hair, fur, and other things like that. If you want to have a realistic hair flow to be generated, if you want a realistic kind of a fur to be generated, XGen is one of the best tools which is available inside Maya to create some fantastic visual effects or characters. So you don't have to depend on third-party plugins or something like that. You can directly do it inside Maya. A very quick video on XGen. This is to make you understand how easily you can paint hair or fur maybe inside a Maya for a 3D character. So what you're doing is just quickly painting fur on the character, and what you do is then create dynamics to make the hair fall down, and now it looks too plasticky because all the hair are so super straight. It doesn't look good, so you need to add some little amount of crumpling or frizziness to it to make it more natural. So if you want the hair to be not very heavy or falling down, you can just uplift the hair a bit depending on how the character is designed or how the character you want it to look like. So you can also have some bump maps to the hair so that it looks extremely curly or frizzy. You can also have layer based hair styles, so that if you want to have couple of layers shorter and couple of layers longer, you can do that. You can also do shaping to the hair. For example, you don't want the hair to look too straight, or at areas or at patches you want the hair to look little different, you can do that. So this is how you can paint and create hairstyles to a character which you have designed. Also, individual hair strands can be modified in terms of their length, their colors, their shade, and their frizziness. So these things are by default available inside Maya. So people do not have to go out or buy a third-party plugin. Very easily you can do things which are required to have a photorealistic looking character. So this video explains how easily you can tweak hairs, create photorealistic hair, and hair can also have dynamics so that it will bounce, it will flow, or when the character moves in any direction. So this was a quick video on the tool XGen. I can just quickly push ahead to show that what all can you do it using XGen to this character. It does it can be it works very well with the by default light. You can see when you render this output, you can see it looks much more natural, and you can also play around with the shaders or the for the hair to have different colors and tweak them to look much more naturally looking hair and fur using XGen. All right. The next fantastic tool is Bifrost. Bifrost is one of the oldest tool which Maya had, which was acquired by a company called as Nayad, and Bifrost became a part of Maya, and it was very good to create photorealistic water, liquids, or maybe fire and smoke. We added a lot to this tool, and now we have a new Bifrost tool, which is called as Bifrost for Maya, which was released in the version 2019.2. This tool is one of the best tools which you have to create photorealistic output, not just liquids or not just water, but you can also create some fantastic looks for realistic ice, realistic sand, realistic dynamics, cloth, blast, everything. And we have a new node-based procedural tool which you can just customize and create your own Bifrost composite, which is like a tool, and then give it to the artist for the further usage inside the scene. So I'm just going to play a video which explains what Bifrost for Maya is in the new version, and I'm going to talk about it in detail after this. So this is the new Bifrost which has been introduced. As you can see, you have a curve, a new procedural curve which can be just connected to each other, and it gives you a very fantastic natural looking output of maybe fume or a fire or a smoke or whatever it is. The best part about this is whatever you're seeing is the viewport output. This is not a final render, so you can imagine the quality inside the viewport itself, and you don't have to render each and every frame to see how your end result is going to be looking like. So this is very, very good and very super fast. You can create such effects in a very quick way. Even this ice was actually a production tool which was used in the film Frozen, and along with the Autodesk team, Disney guys worked together to implement this tool inside Maya. So you can create some volumetrics, you can convert the volumetrics into mesh or mesh into volumetrics depending on your requirement. So all these tools are readily available, and this is the new Bifrost which got released in Maya 2019.2. But and also you can see you have the default browser, so you don't have to create something from scratch. All you can do is drag and drop tools like fire, smoke, blast, mist, and so on, and then customize it depending on your requirement of the scene. This is a by default template which is available in Bifrost. So the whole idea to talk about is Bifrost got released in version 2019.2, but anyone who is also using a previous version, that is 2018, can use Bifrost for Maya, the new plugin. All you have to do is just download this Bifrost from your account and then install it in your previous version of Maya, that is 2018, and you can also leverage the new Bifrost for Maya which got released. Mesh is also available inside Maya. This was again acquired as a plugin, and it became a part of Maya 20, maybe 5 years back, 4.5, 5 years back. This is a tool which is very good for things like motion graphics, to create some funky effects, to create terrains, to create jungles or foliages. All you need to do is you just need 2 or 3 different shapes, and you can paint using these 3, 4, 5 meshes on a terrain to create a very realistic looking jungle. You don't have to go and sit and plant individual trees on the terrain. All you need to do is using the brush strokes of mesh, you just paint and you have created a fantastic looking foliage. It's as easy as that. Um, This is an example of Mash. What all can you create inside Mash? I'm just going to play this video for you guys. So this was shared by us from Mainframe, who has done some fantastic effects using Mash, and it's a very fantastic and easy tool. You don't have to do a lot of scripting or play around with animation graphs. All you have is menus where you can just tweak and create effects like this. So moving ahead, what's new in Maya 2019? As I said, we have moved from we have enough tools inside Maya. What we want is now to understand the problems or pain points of our customers, our users, our artists, and that's where exactly we are moving to. So people like the people who are existing Maya users who have explored 2019 will understand what I'm talking about, or I'm talking about the performance improvement which was done in Maya. So in Maya 2019, we have something called as better animation. We have faster tools and a beautiful environment. Now, what does that mean? It means Maya is faster. Maya, which was one version before, was still little slower than what it is now, because we have revamped the entire architecture to make it much more faster, which means I'm just going to play a video and I'm going to explain you in detail what was I talking about. So in 2019 Maya, we have something called as, we have enhanced the performance. So a same file, if you open in Maya 2018 versus 2019 on the same system, you can see how quickly the file opens inside Maya 2019. Even the performance, when you move, rotate and stuff, the file does not become too heavy, and it's easy to manipulate or maneuver over. Including the playback, Maya 2019 plays real-time has real-time playback. That's because of the cache playback, which I'm going to talk about. And all these features have been incorporated because of feedback which has come from you guys, and that's called as the Maya ideas. So I'm just going to go back and pause something here. This is a page which actually speaks about Maya ideas. You guys can participate in Maya ideas if you feel that there are certain things which needs to be improved. There are certain things which you feel can be worked around in a different way. All you need to do is just go inside, just on Google, just type Maya ideas. It will take you to the area page, and you can give your feedback or talk about some enhancement in the tool. If the other people in the other part of world feels the same, they will start liking your post, and if you get more amount of likes, the development team will start thinking about working on that tool. So it's a good opportunity for people like us to actually raise your voice and present your ideas so that the development team of Autodesk can work towards your ideas. The next tool we are talking about is the cache playback. I spoke about the performance of the system. The file opening is tremendously faster than what it used to be. Even the performance when you have an animation done. So for example, you have a file which has animation. What happens is, when an animator works, this is a statistic which says that an animator spends 2 minutes per every 5 minutes doing play blast. Now people who are animators know what a play blast is, okay, which means a person's 2.5 hours approximately in a day is wasted doing nothing. He's just waiting for the system to do the play blast for him, so that he can see the play blast and decide whether his animation is smooth or jerky, etc, etc. Now, why is this important? Is because Maya earlier, okay, Playblast was the only option where they can see how the animation was done in real time. Scrubbing the time bar was not an option because it would be very sluggish, and obviously hitting the play button was also not a good idea. So what was the idea in mind? What if you just hit the play button and the animation happens? So you don't need the play blast at all. And that's exactly what was done in Maya 2019, is real-time playback on your timeline. For example, you can see this is 2016 Maya, which is playing 8 frames per second. Maya 2018 was also playing 8 frames per second when you hit the play button, whereas Maya 2019, the same file, same system, plays real time. So an artist does not have to do a play blast. Now what was the scene is, you can see on the window, the artist is creating a play blast which is going on slowly. There is a dissolve which we did so that we don't spend time. You create a video and then you decide whether you're playing is fast or smooth. Whereas in 2019, you all need to do is click the play button, ready to go. Absolutely seamless. And this saves a lot of artist time. The artist can spend time doing creative jobs like tweaking the animation, making sure that the animation is fine, there is no issues or there is no jump or jerk in the animation. And after he or she has done the keyframing, all you need to do is cache it. The software will do the caching by itself automatically, and all you need to do is click on the play button. The file will move real time without you being doing a play blast. So that saves a lot of artist time, and that's really fantastic. I also said that we have a beautiful environment. Now when I say beautiful environment, doesn't mean that we have designs and stuff on the environment. It's all about the viewport enhancement. For example, the viewport can show you almost the final render. When I say that, you can see this is a viewport output, okay, and this viewport output can show you lights, can show how the light is falling on the object, can show how the light is creating shadows and ambient occlusion, even the spotlight has been visible. And not only that, the viewport can also show reflections, which is a best thing to have. Now, which means you don't have to go back and check each frame renders, so that when your look and development guy has to decide on the lighting of the scene, and he or she has to render single frame every time to see how the result will look like. The viewport will tell you how the end result will look like. So the initial look and development can be decided based on the viewport output at itself. So imagine you're seeing a play blast, or you're seeing a real-time play of your animation without rendering, which also includes the reflection, which also includes the highlight, the shadows, and the light effects, which is really a great thing to have. And also, if you ever create a play blast to be sent it to a customer, you are sending a play blast which is not just a gray scale model, but you're sending something which is a colored model with reflection, highlights, shadows, and spotlights, everything included, which for the end customer is almost like an end render. Now you do all this without actually rendering the file, which means you're saving a lot of time. Cool. I already spoke about Bifrost, which was released in 2019.2, so I'm not going to repeat the same thing again. Let's jump to 2020 3ds Max. I'm going to play a video on 2020, what's new. We have also again added performance increases in 3ds Max. The video itself will explain. That the performance of 2020 is much better in terms of frame rates, and we are still working on it. The viewport frame rate display is much more accurate than what it used to be, and you can create an animation play blast, which used to be the case before. You have different additional codecs. Oh, sorry, the video just jumped. Yeah, we have additional codecs which can be added from in the play blast video itself. And when you create a play blast, the rendering preview is much more faster than what it used to be before. You can also add file names. Oh, sorry, even Revit files can be imported, and that has some better enhancements when you import a Revit file from Revit to 3ds Max. This is fantastic for architectural design visualization, guys. You have some modeling enhancements, which is chamfer modifier and all. Guys, all these things can be, you guys, if you are interested, can go to the 3ds Max learning channel and understand more on how does this tool work, and you can implement that in your daily production life. There are also enhancements on certain shaders, which is OSL shaders. OSL shaders updates are also enhanced in version 2020. And you can see the viewport output and the render output is almost the same. So there's hardly, you don't need to render each and every frame every time to see how your final output is going to look like. And you have the simple tile options to create tile options and so on. Simple chroma key on the viewport itself without actually going inside the another compositing tool. And toon shaders, of course, in form of OSL shaders, where you can change a lot of parameters for the shader itself. 3ds Max is also ready to go to VR, because we all know that VR is increasing big time and virtual reality is done using a game engine. So we have a game engine with us, which is called as Max Interactive. Max Interactive is nothing but a part of 3ds Max. So if you own a 3ds Max license, with the same license key, you can use Max Interactive also, which has a very good seamless workflow with 3ds Max. So if you want to learn more about Max Interactive, you can just go Google and understand more about this product, and get back to us in case if you have any questions, or write it to the support team for knowing more about this product. Now moving to the next session, as I said, what we want to talk about is completing the entire workflow and not jumping, obviously jumping softwares, but jumping software which are available in the same bundle. You don't have to invest more money going outside and stuff. So if you've done a storyboard using Sketchbook, you've created a model using Mudbox, then you animate it using Motion Builder, bring that animation inside Maya to do whatever fine tuning, and then when you want to render, you have the most powerful tool which is available inside the software, which is called as Arnold. Now all we know is Mental Ray was one of the tool which was a part of 3ds Max and Maya. We discontinued Mental Ray, and what we did is we acquired a company called as Solid Angle, and Arnold became a part of 3ds Max and Maya. So Arnold license can be also bought separately, and it works exactly the way how it works in Max and Maya, and also Cinema 4D, Softimage, Katana, and Houdini. So this Arnold plugin, it's default available within Max and Maya. B, you can also purchase it separately to install it in other competitive products. Or if you have a industry collection, that the complete bundle, the media and entertainment collection, where you get a license of Maya, you get a license of Max, Recap, Motion Builder, all the softwares which I spoke about, you get additional file license of Arnold, which you can use it for background render or batch render. So that's the whole concept. You know, Arnold was used for Hollywood blockbusters. These are some few names of Bollywood blockbuster movies in which Arnold was used. This is an old list. The new ones has a huge list altogether. Now you guys will ask me why Arnold. So my answer would be Arnold is very, very, very easy to use. The performance is super fast. It does not ask for a robust machine, which means you can use your old hardware to do your renders. And of course, it has won awards for the best scientific and engineering award in 2017. These are a few examples of people who have given us their output, which was rendered using Arnold. And these are all production output, not just test renders. Some volumetrics which was rendered in Arnold. And some clouds which was shared to us by Disney. This is a 3D file which we use it to test Arnold lighting. And the Jaguar from MPC, it was actually used for an advertisement and looks much more photorealistic, which was rendered using Arnold. Now this is the old Arnold which I'm talking about. The new one is Arnold 5.6. We have two. So what is Arnold? It's basically a shader which is available. It's a tool, it's a plugin which is available inside Max and Maya by default. You have Arnold lights, you have Arnold shaders, and all you need to do is hit the render button, and Arnold will optimize the file so much that you get a very faster rendering output. So Arnold updates means you also have toon shaders inside Arnold, and these toon shaders are not just one kind. So you also have this 2.5D kind of a toon shader in which it also looks like half 3D and half 2D. A perfect 2D example using Arnold toon shaders. This is something which was done for a Japanese game company, and which means this is a production tool. This is not something which was created for fun. A complete watercolor toon shader, and this has been designed by an artist called as Galder Moore, who completely rendered it in 2D using the Arnold toon shader. There was a little bit of touch up, but then at least 80% of the entire output is using Arnold. It's, as I said, it's available in all DCC tools, that is digital content creation tools. So what you do is you just hit renders. You also have a denoise option which can quickly do the denoising and give you a very fantastic output of the final render of final frame of what you're working on. So it's a very good tool for the look and development guys and so on. There are options for denoising. This is the one which is raw render, and with the application of denoise, the tool is using the GFX card, you can achieve something like that. So there has been a lot of denoising improvements. I'm not going to go in depth of something basic, but you can see the previous version of Arnold had noise. With Arnold 5.1, which is again a quite old one, the noise went off, and 5.2 had much lesser amount of noise as compared to 2 version before. And currently, as I'm talking about, we have somewhere in 5.6 and so on. Texture baking, M2 extension, all these updates were done in the previous versions of Arnold releases. You also have something called as fabric shader, which is a part of Arnold shader to create some fantastic photorealistic output of fabrics, which can be used for as a curtain fabric if somebody is working on design visualization. If somebody is working for ad commercials, can also leverage this tool to create a photorealistic output of cloth. Cell noise was a part of it for people who know how difficult it is to create caustic effect and how time consuming it is. Cell noise was used to create underwater caustic effects as well. People also use cell noise to create various metallic objects and output like this. Round corners, very interesting thing. That is, I can just show that we all know that modeling is a difficult task, and especially when you want the corners to have bevels, of corner of the entire object to have bevel, it is difficult to select corners and then make them curvish. What we are doing is we are spending a lot of time doing this task. At the same time, we are adding additional elements or additional segments to the edge, which means the size of the polygons will increase. But these round corners are based out of shaders and camera projections, so that it does not actually create physically round edges, but through the shaders it will have round edges throughout. So on the left and right image, you can see the left one is completely sharp edged and the right one has some kind of curves on its edge. This one is a perfect example. I will go to and fro to show you how efficiently, without actually going and touching any of the polygons, you can create round corners to a complicated model like this. So I'm just doing to and fro, that is before and after, for you guys to understand how this round corners work and what is the end result of the Arnold round corner shader. There are new matrix shaders which is also available. This right one is a video. You can see this is not an animated tool, but the shader is designed in such way that all these small tiny particles or small tiny polygons will start moving in itself, which replicates trees or leaves. So one does not have to add dynamics to this 3D heavy mesh. It will automatically kind of move, creating a photorealistic effect of trees or foliages or grass or something like that. We also have a lot of details on how the shaders are. If you can go to the solidangle.com website, you will see different references and different studies over each and every shaders. This is spherical light shaders and quad light sampling projection. You can see the previous and the next versions had a lot of sampling improvements. And plugins, as I said, it works soon. I'm not going to talk about the release date, but expect Arnold to be released in the GPU version very soon. Currently, Arnold is in the GPU beta, where you guys can download the beta version and try it out hands-on on the software. So why GPU? Is because there was a strong demand of GPU. Okay, everyone, including the look and development artists, were spending a lot of time doing rendering even for single frames. So if there is a GPU render, the render will be 5 times faster than what a CPU render does. The other option is GPUs are becoming much more faster and bigger, okay, and easily scale. The scalability is very easy for smaller studios. We tied up with the NVIDIA GTA technology, and we partnered with NVIDIA, and we also had a booth where we displayed the GPU tool to people in SIGGRAPH. You know that a lot of people said that we already have GPU renders in the market. How is Arnold going to be so good or compared to them? The whole idea is we want to have feature compatibility. That means somebody who is using the CPU version of Arnold, when they switch to GPU version of Arnold by clicking one button, all the tools should work in GPU. There shouldn't be one single menu or one single option which should not work in GPU. So all the tools will definitely work in CPU and GPU both. So that's one of the best things about Arnold. Go to shift the shading networks. You can see how quick is the GPU version of Arnold subsurface scattering. We all know that subsurface scattering is a very tedious task. The render cannot be this faster. Obviously, this will have a slight lag on your screen, maybe because this is a webinar. But trust me, this is almost playing real time. So people who have gone through the subsurface scattering know the pain, how much time is consumed in subsurface scattering tool, and this tool is going to be absolutely faster. Now this video is 1 year old, and in that last 1 year there has been a lot of enhancements on the Arnold front. So that is going to be definitely much more faster and better. This was the hair and skin, all done by an artist called Shorab, who has shared his work with us. You can also do that if you are a good artist and you want to share your work. You can just try to upload it in the area website where Autodesk can pick up and will be viewed or seen by a lot of artists across the globe. Again, a different angle, but this was rendered and modeled and textured everything inside Maya. So GPU in atmospheric, perfect output, interacts very well with atmospherics. Now this is the difference between CPU and GPU. Visibly, like with the naked eyes, yes, there is a difference currently. Currently, as in few months back, when then that's the reason we did not release the GPU version of Arnold, because we also wanted, along with the feature compatibility, we also wanted pixel compatibility, which means if you split the renders in between CPU and GPU. And at the end, when you collect the frames, the render which output which came from CPU and the render output which comes from GPU, both has to look same. There cannot be any pixel difference, even 1%. And that's where we are currently now. We have almost achieved, we have this pixel technology according to the developer. There was some difference, and which we rectified it soon. Again, Arnold works seamlessly, and it's the same workflow in all different softwares, Cinema 4D, be it Houdini or be it Katana or be it 3ds Max or Maya. Uh, in 2018 SIGGRAPH, NVIDIA announced its partnership with Autodesk, and they also launched their new graphic card, that is the NVIDIA RTX series. And trust me, it's one of the best thing to have currently, because it is even much more faster than your RTX, than your normal GPUs. So Beehive transversal triangle intersections, fully supported by Arnold, which is the RTX card. And we demonstrated, along with partnership with Marvel, Cinesite, and NVIDIA and Autodesk, we all got together and we demonstrated something which was a real Avenger asset of a Spider-Man, actual asset which was used in film, a very heavy asset which was 4K output demonstrated on the SIGGRAPH booth. If you guys have time, you can just Google saying NVIDIA RTX launch in SIGGRAPH 2018. It's a 1 hour, 1.5 hour video. Look at it and you will not be able to believe the technology, what kind of technology does this RTX card has brought in. Benchmarking again, in the GPU and the RTX. Now people ask me questions like, why RTX? Why not GPU? Obviously, the same file you can see with a sampling rate of 10:1:1. It took 1 minute 2 seconds in a normal GPU and 26 seconds in an RTX card. So now we all know how painful is rendering for us, and imagine our 4K files are being rendered at this speed of what RTX does. This is really a fantastic thing to have. This jumpers in GPU took 1 minute 10 seconds, whereas in RTX card it just took 37 seconds, which is less than half of what it was. CPU render of Noah Girl is 6 minutes. RTX card is 40 seconds. RTX GPU is the normal is 2 minutes something seconds. Okay, so you can imagine the RTX GPU and the RTX GPU with additional samplings, okay, which is 20 20 1 1 1, and so huge one. Yep, this is 1 minute 55 versus CPU versus GPU 4 seconds. Imagine the time saved. And we're also promising spectacular results. There will be more development on the RTX front, and we will also have Arnold doing a fantastic performance. And you can see this is a Lego Ninja file with subsurface scattering. We all know how difficult subsurface scattering is all about, with so many tiny minute objects inside it. But with RTX card, it does a fantastic job and almost gives you a real-time render. So even when you want to output your final render with GPU cards, it's going to be really faster. And what do we want is, we want performance, right? So you can see the Noah girl, when you move the viewport, the render happens within no time. And this is like a final render, and not just final render, this is a real-time render. What do we want is, we want to do look and development on the viewport itself. So this is a car with an background environment, and you want to show your customer how the car will look in different colors. You don't have to apply shaders and keep waiting for the shaders to be loaded and single frame render you do and then save it. You can take the decision there and there itself on the viewport, which is as fast as you can think of. Again, a Lego with denoise, even along with a level of denoising which happens at the end of the final render, it still is real time for us. This is for design ways optic denoise. Yeah. And yes, what does an artist want is faster interaction. An artist always wants that when he moves the file, his render or his final output should be seen to him immediately. And this is what Arnold GPU will give. The whole idea about the entire presentation today, if you understood, I spoke a lot about performance, and that's what Maya 2019, 3ds Max 2020, and Arnold GPU, which is currently in beta, will be giving to the artist. So you don't have to struggle, or you don't have to wait for the animation to do, for the software to do the play blast of an animation and then decide how your animation is going to look like. This is purely for an animator. For a look and development guy, they don't have to wait for one single frame render in a smaller thumbnail size and then see or decide whether the lighting which he has done looks good or no. It is going to be real time, and this is what the future technology with Autodesk is. So in the M&E portfolio, this is the whole idea. Do it real time and without switching softwares or spending more time here and there. So that's the end of my presentation today. The whole idea was, is public beta has started. You can download your version of Arnold from this link on the screen, and you can also see some increased NVIDIA collaboration documents on the same area, same page. And Arnold will be released when it is ready, and by that I mean to say very soon. So that was the end of my presentation, guys, and I will open for question and answer. There is a button on the right hand side which says Q&A. You guys can feel free to ask questions. I will just read out some of the questions and answer them. At the same time, you have something called as poll. So I will be shooting each questions and give you some time. I would expect you guys to participate in this poll. So I'm just launching. Okay. So I'm just give me a second, guys. All right. So let me just try and read. Okay, Umesh is asking, is XGen available for Macs also? Umesh, no, unfortunately, XGen is not available for 3ds Max. Okay, Mithul said that this video is not playing smooth, very laggy. Of course, during the webinar, I expect this that the video will be slower. But if you want to see the 2019 Maya cache playback videos, you can just Google it on YouTube or anywhere, and you will find that video. I have downloaded the video from the Autodesk website, which is also there on YouTube. You will be able to see it in real time. Joginder Singh, Jogi is asking, you love Mesh. Absolutely. People who are on, who are, good with design, and people who are actually from the broadcast segment will definitely enjoy Mesh. And yes, I would appreciate if you get some time, try out the Mesh feature in the Maya software. Arnold 2017. So can I download Arnold Beta? Yes, Nilesh is asking, can he download Arnold Beta? And you mentioned you have Arnold 2017. I guess you are talking about Maya 2017. So yeah, Maya 2017, 2018, and 2019 supports Arnold. So anyone who is from my version Maya 2017 can download the beta version of Arnold and use it for that version of Maya, or even Max, for example. You can download for previous few versions. If you go to the site, there are options saying, do you want Arnold for which version and which OS? You can just feel free to download that. Will the round corner shaders work for VR? It's a shader. It will definitely work. So it's on the object, nothing to do with the thing. Okay, Kapil Nikam is asking me a question that you have Arnold, and when you go for a batch render, it asks for it. It gives you watermark. This is the reason I just mentioned it between. So every software of Max and Maya has one Arnold inbuilt. Now these Arnold is for foreground render only, which means you click on that render button, the window will pop up. You have to wait for the render of that one single render to happen, which is the foreground render. When you put render in the background, okay, it will ask for additional licenses because that's a background task. That's something which you are putting outside the software for the task to be done. So if you have, that means you need additional license of Arnold to do the background rendering. That's why it is giving you watermark. It will not take the license from the software of Max and Maya because that's a background task. So for that, as I said, we have this M&E industry collection. This collection, if you buy, you get additional 5 license of Arnold, which can be used for background rendering, and you will not face the issue of watermarks and so on. One thing, I'm just reading some more questions. One second. Slides through mail. So can I get the slides throughout mail? Maninganan, I don't know whether you're asking about these slides which I showed. Unfortunately, I won't be able to share the slides, but I think the recording of this video can be shared to you after the end of the presentation. So we will work out with this. Thank you so much, Kush. I really appreciate. Okay, so somebody is asking me how will the Murli Taran is how will the shader work in game engines such as Unity or Unreal? Unity has a workflow, so you can push your asset from Maya to a game engine, and whatever assets you have added or whatever shaders you have added, Unity supports that. So we have a tie-up with Unity where you can push your shaders to Unity, so that should not be a problem at all. Okay, Nilesh, you want to have some tutorials on 3ds Max and materials like velvet. If you go to the arnold.autodesk.com or maybe the solidangle.com, you should be able to see a lot of tutorials on how to create certain shaders. Try to work around that. If not, then just try to email us or maybe try to ask questions on the Maya or 3ds Max forum. There are a lot of people active there, even including me, would like to share their views and from the links from where you can find tutorials. Um right around. Cool. So I guess I have a lot of questions already done, and then there are some poll questions. In case of because of time constraints, I might have to push off. We will be happy to hear from you guys. If you want to ask questions, please feel free to send us an email, or maybe, as I said, please be very active on forums. Like you have Maya forums, you have Max forums, and you have other product forums. There are a lot of people active there, and they would be happy to give you suggestions, ideas, in case if you are stuck in any given point of time. So we are still in the process of sharing the poll questions to you. Just holding on for a second. Please feel free to reply to the poll questions. And also, as I said, just to reiterate, in the after this webinar, for all the attendees, there will be a survey document sent. Please try to fill in that and send it back to us. People who have filled the survey questions and people who have answered the polls uh, are eligible for to win the exciting goodies from Autodesk, and the winner name will be announced on 18th of December once we finish the complete webinar series. Last one, Mitul, the AL shaders are the old ones which are not now supported. Uh, it's all completely physical based shaders which is available inside um, in the Arnold. So we have kind of changed the entire concept of shading, and trust me, this is for good. I guess we have all the polls ready. I'm like, everyone has answered it, and we are good to go. We would be very happy to hear from you. Again, remember feedback survey, which will be sent to you on email. Polls you have already answered, and my next webinar will be on next Thursday, and that would be more on the production management side, which is Shotgun, and also I'll be talking about the creative finishing tool, which is Flame, and what are the new tools which has been included inside Flame is all I'm going to talk about. So with that, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you guys taking out time from your daily busy schedule and spending 1 hour with me for the webinar where I talk about where the industry is changing, what are the changes which we have included in the Autodesk Media and Entertainment portfolio. We have covered almost all the products of the media and entertainment collection. We spoke about Sketchbook, Mudbox, Motion Builder, Recap, Maya, Max, character generator, and of course the Arnold, which was covered in the last part of the presentation. So with that, I would like to say a big thank you to everyone, and see you next week.